Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the R&D podcast. Thank you once again for joining us. Listen, guys, this is the way I see it. I believe everybody should have their own version of a podcast. And in a way, you kind of see it. Everybody has their own platform. Everybody's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Everybody has their own platform. Everybody has their own way of sharing their thoughts and ideas throughout the universe. I feel like with podcasts, though, you get a real opportunity to hear what the person is about, what they sound like, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, hopefully. And I just feel like it's the way of the future. Today is a great day to start your own podcast. Whether you're looking for a marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or just think it'd be a fun way to have your own talk show, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. And Buzzsprout, which is the service that I use, is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more, within minutes of finishing your recording. And it's not that hard. Maybe some of you guys that are listening is like, I can do that better than him. And maybe you can. I feel like everybody should have their own podcast. I really do. So guys, if you follow the link in the description, it lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you, and you get a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan. And it helps support the show. Buzzsprout has been nothing but good to me. You can do little clips you can use for promotion. It shows all the analytics that you need from, just where your podcast is being listened to. You'll get a great looking podcast website, audio players that you can drop into other websites, and tools to promote your episodes. The team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping everybody succeed. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and click the link in the description, and then maybe one day you can be on the show and we can talk about your podcast. The very first podcast that I was ever on was my friend Esteban, and he's here today with us. And the other person that's also here is his brother, fan favorite and show regular, Cose. What's up, guys?
What a duty.
How you doing?
Cut.
How's it going?
We made it.
No, I'm pretty good. Yeah.
We made it. Yes, we did.
We made it.
So you want to know a fun fact?
Sure.
Exactly 1 year ago today, March 5th, we were together. Not in this same place.
Do you think he knows?
Maybe not.
The same day?
Today, exactly 1 year ago today, we were together.
Eating pizza.
No.
Oh,
you know
no.
where we were? We were
Where
in
do you
Webster
think?
Hall for
That's when we went to go see
07
Shake?
That's when we went to see the 070
Oh,
Shake
shit.
concert. Yeah, exactly 1 year ago today.
That was like,
Before the fight.
Well, that's
that was when COVID hit.
That's when everything changed.
Yeah. I remember that. We went to that show and it was like, this feels weird.
Everything was
Yeah.
weird, dude. I told this story already on the podcast, but the moment that I knew that everything was like changing and that things were going to be different was I was talking to the guy, and there was this guy, and I was complimenting him on his on the crew neck that he was wearing, because it was a Juventus crew neck.
I forgot about him.
Dude, he was a really cool dude, and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy! Where'd you get that crew neck?" And he's like, "Bro, boom, boom, boom." And then so in the middle of the conversation, I like put up like the thing that was covering my face, or the thing that I had, which is like the balaclava thing, and I put it up in the middle of the conversation, and then so I fucked it up. I completely just destroyed the rhythm, the momentum, everything.
Yeah.
And then he like put his elbow up to cover his face, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like it was never a thing before, where you have to like cover your face and stuff. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is going on?
Look where we are now.
Yeah, look where we are now.
A year later. Who would have known?
The Fire Nation.
Crazy. I had a job back then. That's crazy.
Dude, it's nuts, man. Just on the way in here, I was stressed because I had my mask, but I didn't wear it. And I was like, fuck, there's people here still working. I don't want to like scare them, or I don't want them to, tell on me or whatever. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, Texas is wide open now.
Yeah.
They just announced that, right?
I heard.
Dude, I don't know, man.
That's, I don't know either. I don't know anything about what's going on. like numbers wise, like hospitalizations, things like that. But like a part of me is of course scared because we don't know what's gonna happen. But a part of me is like, okay, it's lit. Like I'm trying to go back to normal. You know what I mean? And it's like bad to say, I guess, but
No,
we all
it's
feel
not.
it. You know, you
No,
all
it's-
feel it.
Yeah, no. It's all, everybody feels it, dude. Especially, listen, I guess we're biased because we live in New York, and New York was the first city in the United States to actually no, it was Seattle, right? Or was it
To shut down?
well, to get hit, to be affected by COVID.
I thought it was like Cali.
It might have been Seattle. It was one of those.
It was one of
But then when it came to New York, that's when it really started getting popular.
Yeah.
And I remember New York shut down the weekend of like March 6th, which is like exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
And we're still here. And we're still doing this.
Yep.
And I'm still waiting for that Keytronada concert. Still waiting.
Yeah, so many concerts that we haven't gone to.
I know,
So many
bro.
tickets bought.
I know, but they're coming
hate
back,
it.
bro. They're coming back. You know which one I'm going to?
They better.
Oh, I announced one of them. See, I'm not going to tell. I'm telling too many people. what I'm
Where?
fucking
Where? When?
doing. Diplo, Brooklyn Mirage
When?
in May.
Let's buy them right now.
No, they already been bought, baby.
You bought them?
I bought them.
How much are they sold? Are being sold?
I believe so. Let me just double check right here.
I mean,
So-
if I don't think we're the first people to just hear about this. You better buy them.
This podcast should have been called the Rand Diplo podcast. You know what I mean? Like, this is the guy. That's as far as producers go. For me, he's top 3.
May
it
15th.
was-
That's
It
lit.
was supposed to happen in October.
May 15th. Yeah, rescheduled from October 2nd, 2020. May 15th.
Oh, so the tickets transferred over?
I believe so.
Oh, so it's GG's for me.
Why?
Everybody who bought them already has tickets.
Bro, I bought. I think you can still buy them, bro. You can just figure it out. We can always figure it out.
I'm a look.
Yeah. We'll see, man.
Trying to get my groove on.
But I don't know, man. Is Texas the move? Let's get out of here.
Texas?
Imagine.
I've been thinking about getting out of New York, no lie.
I mean,
New York is, oh.
yeah, who hasn't, right?
You know what's
It's very
crazy?
dense out here.
So during, was it like a couple weeks before Christmas, right? That we were in South Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were down there, and then coming back up here, you feel tension, you feel stress, like it all hits you, because you know how New York is like the city that never sleeps and everything is just always constantly moving. It's always gotta get to work,
Right.
Gotta feed my kids.
It's true, dude. Yeah, I mean, that tension that New York has in general, just immediately when you get here, it's like, fuck, you know. But part of us gets used to it
Yeah,
because it's just what we know. But it's a lot, and I don't blame people for leaving, especially if they want to go to a place like Texas. So we got the article here. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas said on Tuesday that he was ending his statewide mask mandate effective March 10th, and that all businesses in the state could then operate with no capacity limits. And then he tweeted, "I just announced Texas is open 100%." And then he said, "Everything," in all caps. Very aggressive. But fuck, bro. Whatever, like, fuck it, man. Just start living. We gotta fucking live. You know how tired I am of driving on the highway? One small ask. Wear a mask. And I get angry. It's like, who the fuck is typing this? And I know it's before I used to think, I was like, maybe it's Cuomo's wife in the bedroom, I don't know, like, this is so nice. But I think it's his daughter. I think his daughter's part of like a mask task force or whatever.
You know what bothers me that I've never understood? When I drive around and I see people wearing masks inside their cars.
Oh my God.
As if they're like the air inside the car from the AC is gonna get them like sick.
The only thing that I can think of that justifies that is if like you're a taxi driver or something, or if you're driving and there's other people that are
Taxi,
going to come
Uber.
in. That's the only thing. But if you're like a lone person,
Or like with your family.
or if you're with your family or something, no, that I can't. Oh my God! But what drives me crazy is if it's just one person in the car, bro. Please have sense.
Yeah,
What
no,
is going to
for
happen? Especially like we've been dealing with this now for a year. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing?
Anytime I take that mask off, I'm like, oh, I can breathe again. I can smell the fresh air.
I was gonna go into Cuomo. Soho, what is this? I thought it was something about his like daughter's part of like some kind of mask initiative in New York or some shit. So she's probably the one typing that bullshit on the highway.
How long do you think it'll take
It's probably a cult.
for all that stuff to come over here?
What the
Like the free mask
Following Texas's
footsteps.
though? You know, I was just having this conversation with somebody. I think by the summer, I think everything is going to be, for the most part, good to go. And they'll use, what they'll say is, they'll use that, the amount of people being vaccinated and everything as like the justification. It's like, well, X amount of people have been vaccinated, so we're going to reach herd immunity. Those are an article that came out today, I think. As the pace of vaccinations improves, the U.S. is getting closer to herd immunity. A CNN analysis, and I don't know about CNN, but a CNN analysis finds it may be reached by summer.
Okay.
So maybe by the summer.
My one of my close friends works for parks in the city, and and he was telling me that Cuomo told them that they can't close down the parks, and that's also part of the beaches, that they can't afford to close those down at all this summer. So it looks like it's gonna be full capacity.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with it, man.
100%.
Bro, he's under fire right now.
I've heard. What is it?
Oh, man, I should really be more prepared, guys. But he's getting Me Too'd. There's more information coming out about.
Okay.
There's more information coming about like the cover up with the nursing homes and stuff. So I think they were. It was something. God, I'm gonna say things that I really don't know about, but that's what a podcast is, right, guys? Sign up and start your own. So the thing is, it's something about. I think they were placing COVID patients in nursing homes, and then that wiped out a lot of elderly people. So now there's a cover up going on with, there was that was a thing, but now he's trying to cover it up, and then he's like apparently calling people and journalists and like threatening them and stuff. And that was before like people already kind of knew about that, but recently he's been getting Me Too, bro. I think like some aides came out saying, oh, hold on, everybody. This is breaking news. This is 3 hours ago. Cuomo aides rewrote nursing home. Shut up, man. Cuomo aides rewrote nursing home report to hide higher death toll. The intervention was the earliest action yet known in an effort by Governor Andrew Cuomo that concealed how many nursing home residents died in the pandemic. And I can't keep reading because New York Times has this stupid subscription thing that they want me to pay, and I'm not going to pay it. But yeah, man, it's fucking nuts.
That kind of reminds me of what happened a couple of months ago. That was during more close to the start of COVID, like middle of COVID over the summer, when they had they didn't have much space to dispose of like the bodies of the COVID patients after they passed away. So they found like 15 in like a U-Haul truck somewhere in the city in Queens.
Oh, dude, I saw that.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because I think somebody reported that they smelled the stench in the air coming from somewhere near that area, and then they found the truck and they opened it, and that's what they found. But
it's funny how a man can go from hero of New York, because in the beginning when he was shutting down everything, in a matter of a year, to
a villain
of. It's insane. Like, being in this public eye is a scary place to be in.
I think if you are a public official, there has to be something wrong with you, man. I don't know. Like, you have to reach some kind of, you have to be a little bit of a sociopath in a sense, because there's going to be a lot of people that hate you, and you have to not care. So you have to keep not caring, and then you have to kind of push through. But a guy like Cuomo, bro, dude, his family, bro, has been running New York for a while, son.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was born into it. So it's not even that it's him on his own. Nah, bro. He comes from a family that...
His father and like...
Bro, let me look up who Mario Cuomo is. This fucking guy has a bridge named after him. No. This guy, the one we're talking about, is Andrew. Yeah, I think his father was named Mario. And he was also governor, I believe. Let me fact check myself, ladies and gentlemen. Former governor of New York, Mario Matthew Cuomo.
Oh, wow.
What?
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I mean, there's just, bro, a lot of these people in power, they're born into it for the most part. Like, and it's like really obvious examples. Like, there were 2 Bushes that were presidents. Kennedys. Oh, by the way, fun fact. Do you know who Andrew Cuomo is married to? I'm just spilling all his fucking, just doxing this motherfucker now. His wife, Carrie Kennedy.
Of the Kennedys?
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm. It's all, bro.
Seventh child.
But this is a perfect example of what marriage is in America. Business propositions.
It's
Power.
like, you know, like in Game of Thrones when they
I
would,
was just thinking
like,
that.
like these
The
different,
Tyrions,
yeah,
right?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we'll have this daughter should marry you, and then we'll have more power that way. It's like these alliances.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Marry
It's
my
the
daughter.
same- yeah, no, it's real fucking life. Look at this, and by the way, she kept the Kennedy name. That's how cold she is. Son.
Yeah.
During her 50, are they? Am I not correct? Are they divorced?
He might have a new.
A new woman
I think so.
or
Ouch.
a Gumar? You know what Gumar is?
No.
Bro, watch The Sopranos, son. Gumar is like side girl, like
Oh,
side bitch. She was. Oh, I see. She was known as Carrie Kennedy Cuomo from 1990 to 2005.
Okay.
What happened?
She didn't want to fuck with the Cuomos, man.
Tough.
I think there's still. Oh wait, married 1990 to 2005. All right, I'm just saying lies on this show at this point. But the point of all this is it's very difficult to gain power like from scratch, just in general, and especially if you're going to be in the political light, if you're going to become a public official at that level, there's no way. You know what I mean? Clinton. You know what I mean? All these names, all these names because they've been in that light for so long and they don't want to fucking go away, especially the Clintons.
What do we do to break this wheel?
Oh, what wheel? There's no break. I don't know. I mean, there's like, how do we
Unbreakable?
change that? Dude, now if we would really get into it as far as like how these people keep power, how they transfer money like to each other, like how they like who they pay off, like all that stuff, bro. Like, you know what's like a way that all these people make like transfer funds, get funds from people like on the low but publicly? The foundations that they have. Foundations are cesspools. Like a lot of dirty money that being funneled in there. It's like, yeah, you want this? Yeah, donate to my foundation. But that money is really going to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Loopholes.
Yeah, no, it's all it is. So how do we break that? I don't know, man. This is, we want to be positive, but if we learn anything from the last episode is it's not going to be positive here all the time. So you can just got to deal with it. Let me get back to the nursing home thing because this article gives a little bit more information, and this also came out today. Wow. Okay. The July report, which examined the factors that led to the spread of the virus in nursing homes, focused only on residents who died inside long-term care facilities, leaving out those who had died in hospitals after becoming sick in nursing homes. As a result, the report said that 6,432 nursing home residents had died, a significant undercount of the death toll attributed to the state's most vulnerable population, the people said. The initial version of the report said nearly 10,000 nursing home residents had died in New York by July last year, one of the people said. The changes, yeah, man, reveal that the state possessed a fuller accounting of out-of-facility nursing home deaths as early as the summer. State officials now say more than 15,000 residents of nursing homes and other long-term care facilities were confirmed or presumed to have died from COVID-19 since March of last year. Exactly 1 year ago today.
50% higher than the earlier official death toll. That's insane.
Yeah.
What?
And they're covering it up. And
Wow.
these are the people in charge. These are the people that are not letting businesses flourish how they should.
So
or even people live freely how they should.
That's happening. And then have you heard the sexual harassment statements?
Let me put up a good
It was down there.
Oh god damn it. Thank you.
It said it was two staffers that he that works for him that are claiming. Who knows if it's true, but
Now, after hearing information like this, is this enough to break the wheel?
no.
His wheel, not the wheel.
His wheel?
Cuomo wheel
I don't know.
or Andrew wheel?
There's a difference?
Well-
It depends on who, succeeds him, I guess.
Ah, that's
But
what you mean.
Andrew for sure, I don't think he makes it out of this.
No.
I don't, bro. That's one of the things about the Me Too thing. By the way, I don't know if it's like Oh yeah, he's getting Me Too, but there's no escaping that. You know what I?
Yeah,
and so
Damn.
It's crazy acts. I mean, what do you expect?
The only thing that comes to mind right now is that you remember that picture that went around of him looking into the house.
Oh,
from
that
the
was
window?
hilarious. Hilarious.
Have you seen that?
the meme of him looking into the
Yeah.
During like the holidays.
people were printing that and like putting it up like during like Thanksgiving and shit.
It was perfect. Oh my god.
Cuomo accuser no. Oh. Cuomo accuser alleges a staffer took sexual harassment training for the governor.
Training.
Oh, no, this is not even for him. Oh shit.
Hmm.
So like the training that he was supposed to get, somebody else went for him. Son.
I am Andrew Cuomo.
Okay, here we go, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the tea right here. Sexual harassment claims against Cuomo. What we know so far. This is the problem, guys. I'm trying to read an article on this show, and it keeps wanting me to subscribe. This is the problem with America right here. 2 former state employees have accused Governor Cuomo of sexual harassment, prompting calls for an independent investigation. A third woman described an unwanted advance at a wedding.
A wedding? Who in Game of Thrones had a secret marriage? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm sure somebody listening does, and they're yelling it, but I don't know.
But that happened. And then that's where
I don't know, bro. I think it's GG's for him, but what do I know? I don't know anything. So.
It could just be one of those things where it's like keeping us distracted.
True.
There's another story to tell. The news outlets these days are booty.
I agree.
All of them. I think that I think the community should just take charge of everything. Everything. News.
Community.
Yeah, but like people in the communities report the news how it is. We start our own farming. I don't know, like our own our own supermarkets, our own. The community is run by us. So why do we need these big? Why do we have to rely on such big
Political like representatives to like
things
take
that
care of
aren't
shit?
owned by us that we depend on? It doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, we should just take care of these things ourselves, though, right?
That's what I'm saying. For the future, I think that's where we're gonna go.
Essentially,
I think that's where the future is gonna go.
I hope so. That'd be sick.
It could be. There is a cool new it's like a website, and it's a type of media outlet, but it's cool because you can select like what where you want the news to lean towards. There's this thing called ImproveTheNews.org, and it's a news aggregator site developed by a group of researchers at MIT and elsewhere to give you control of your news consumption, as explained in the video. Just as it's healthier to choose what you eat deliberately than impulsively, it's more empowering to choose your news diet deliberately on this site than to randomly read what marketers and machine learning algorithms elsewhere predict that you'll impulsively click on. So if you go to the website, if you go to Improve the News, there's like this little like thing that you can slide. And then if you want to see something that's like right in the middle, then it'll show it to you. So like political stance right here, right? If you slide to the left, it'll give you like, it'll update your feed and give you like lefty kind of like
What?
news articles. If you go all the way to the right, then it'll do that. And then there's another thing that you can scroll. It's called Establishment Stance. And you can say critical to the left or pro to the right.
Mm.
That way you can kind of...
You're essentially filtering your news.
That's right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to Harry, by the way. He's the one that put me onto it.
This is
Cool.
terrible.
It's terrible? You don't like it? All right. I don't know. But go ahead.
Not in a bad way, but I'm saying, why do we have to?
Filter news.
No. Like, why is there the separation of left and right? I think
It should just be in the middle.
this is cool because people have a
choice.
website. No, like if let's say you lean more left, then you have an option to see what the right is talking about, and vice versa. But the separation, I think, is still the issue of what we live in this world today.
Sure. But the default is right in the middle. So it's up to you to slide
Pick
it
what
all
side
the way.
you want to go to.
That's what and most people will do that, but at least it starts like right in the middle for the most part. So I think that's pretty cool.
No, yeah, I've never seen something like this.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know how new it is, but this is the first time I hear. No, I heard about it like recently, like maybe like the past week. But yeah, who gives a fuck about news anyway, guys? Like, what are we even doing? You know what I mean?
When was the last time you actually watched the news on the TV?
Huh?
When was the last time you watched TV?
TV, like on like
Like
cable
television,
TV?
yes, cable.
The only time I watch cable TV is like to watch
Like a soccer game?
a Premier League game.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah, me too.
But like for actual like entertainment, other than
Probably years, probably
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
I watch a lot of YouTube. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think that's mainly what people are
That's the main
consuming right
source
now.
of
Like I'll go to
entertainment,
YouTube or I'll just when I'm on the go a lot, so I'll always be listening to podcasts.
Podcasts, yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
The future, I guess, is those two.
I think so, man. I think that's why you see apps like Clubhouse like dominating right now because it's what the thing about Clubhouse. Even if you don't use it,
what is Clubhouse?
It's this app that it's like this thing where you can enter into like different like almost like chat rooms, and then you can go in and it'll give you a preview of what the conversation is about or what the topic is about, and then you'll see sometimes pretty big people coming in and talking. You're like, oh shit, this guy's in here, and then you can go in and just listen, and then if you want, there's this like little thing that you can click where you raise your hand, and if you raise your hand, they call you up, and then you can also speak.
Oh shit.
So then you hear different people speaking, but it's a audio only app for the most part. So the cool thing about it is Clubhouse it's a validation of audio. It kind of shows like audio might be the next frontier. It's like the thing that people are gravitating towards the most because of podcasts, because of things like YouTube is more visual, but for the most part, people are always listening to something.
Yeah.
Is that the app that so you know how the creator of Robinhood was going through a bunch of bullshit because of like the GameStop stocks and everything, right? That's the app that they used because I know Elon Musk started conversating with him about these things because he didn't know much about it. So because the was it the what's the term? Because they closed it out because they bought so much stocks of it, or like they bought so much shares of. It was GameStop and then it was AMC Theaters.
Mm-hmm.
They just limited the purchasing. They only allowed it to share. I just don't know the term for whatever that
Because
is.
and then they closed it out and then everybody's like, that's illegal. This is bullshit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was.
I don't think that was related to Clubhouse though.
Well, they were having conversations about that on the app.
Oh, I understand. Oh, that's right. You're talking about like when Elon confronted the Robinhood CEO.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was on Clubhouse. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like a lot of people, like big name people, like an Elon or like I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago. Tim Dillon got Joe Rogan to go on it, and he hated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like talking to the creator of it because it's Joe Rogan. So when he enters a room, any room, people are gonna listen.
Yeah.
So he went on because he was dragged on by Tim Dillon, and then the creator of Clubhouse was on it, and it was funny because somebody asked, "So is Trump gonna be allowed on Clubhouse?" And then the creator of Clubhouse was like, he said something like, he was trying to dodge the question. He was saying something like, you know, we don't condone hate speech on this app. So if he were to engage on that, then he wouldn't be allowed. And then Joe Rogan's like, well, that's a weird answer. He's like, oh, you're nervous as fuck, bro. I called him out straight up like, oh, you're nervous, son. Like, that's not, and everybody's like, that's not a great answer, dude. Because he's pretty much saying like, no, because of hate speech and this. But the whole problem is, how do you designate what's hate speech and what's not? That's completely dependent on somebody else, right? And that always changes. So if I think that something is hate speech, somebody else it may not be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate that?
It's like picking a side.
Yeah, right. So the thing with Clubhouse is it's audio only, and that's the other thing that Joe Rogan was shitting on. He's like, you need video, man. You need like, where's the video? Like you need the like. I can't see anybody, and honestly, some people just shouldn't even be talking because maybe they don't have the correct information. Maybe they don't even have a good voice. They're like, it's messy. It can be really messy.
Yeah,
Some rooms you go into, it's like some rooms are really cool and you get really valuable information. You're like, oh shit. Like things that have helped me even just understand like the whole bus route thing, the Podcord thing, like all of that. Like I was learning through different rooms in Clubhouse. So some rooms, the app has like dope potential, but then it also can just be really bad too. It just depends. It always depends.
That's with any app though.
Yeah.
I guess it sucks because it's like you need a certain amount of credibility before having your voice heard.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but there are a lot of people that you speak to or you see on the internet that might not have a lot of exposure, but are saying a lot of valid things or that are very smart.
Yeah. And that is one of the cool things about it is that anybody can kind of go up and talk if they want and then just say whatever they want.
And they allow whoever it is, like...
Well, it depends on whoever is, the creator of the room.
Okay.
Like whoever's moderating the conversation, they're the ones that kind of select, okay, yeah, we'll bring this person up.
You think that could be used for like lectures in the future?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so, yeah.
Do you think with all the advance in technology that we're having now, we won't have events where it's in person, or we're still going to have both?
I think we're still going to have both, but the digital is going to be pushed more.
Okay.
I think because there's a lot of the people that have the most power right now in this country are the social media companies, or like an Amazon, like these tech companies. They're the most powerful in this country. So they're the ones, it's in their interest to make everything digital. And there's a lot of information that's been coming out that, where it looks like we may be kind of going in the route of a technocracy.
What is that?
Where it's, man, let me look it up because I don't want to butcher it. But to answer your question, I think digital is going to be pushed, and it won't be a hard sell because people are already comfortable with digital, bro. People are, especially after COVID, people are very comfortable doing everything on the phone, doing everything on a laptop, Zooming, all that shit. It's very easy. I think sooner rather than later, going out is going to be like a thing. It's like you still go out. Like I do everything at home.
No.
I don't know, bro. Technocracy is a system of government in which a decision maker or makers are elected by the population or appointed on the basis of their expertise in a given area of responsibility, particularly with regard to scientific or technical knowledge. I don't think that was the fucking word that I was trying to look for. Hold on, let me see.
I don't think there would have been as much of a push on it, though.
Hold on. An elite of technical experts. The government or control of society or industry by an elite of technical experts. That's the one. That's it. Think about how much power these companies have. Too much. Really, the most powerful people are the ones that write the algorithms.
I was just gonna say, like Silicon Valley. People say that they're the ones that dictate the world. That documentary on Netflix, we spoke about it before. The one that speaks on all those companies and how they.
The one that just came out, the recent one. Mm-hmm. Social Dilemma.
Correct. Yeah.
The Social Dilemma. That's right. Yeah, man.
They're talking about it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for technology, and I think it's amazing, and I think it's the future, and I want to keep evolving, and I want to be alive to the point where we're interstellar. But to lose who we are as human beings is a dangerous thing.
It's very dangerous.
That is bad.
I think little by little, I don't want to say we're losing it. I also don't want to sound like I'm not about technology, or I think it's dope. I think it's cool, but we still got to go outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We still got to like be human. We still have to connect. Like we're connecting mostly through screens.
Like right now, for me personally, and this might sound a little weird, but like my favorite part of the days is going in the gym, and I don't even interact with people, but I see people and I'm in their space and I'm like, people. You know what I mean? Because it's like Or I'll go to the supermarket and I'm like, more people. You know, it's like I'm in these places and I'm not even talking to people, but
It's just a reassurance that
there's still a world and like a life out there. You know what I mean? It's like I would not want to experience too much things on my own. And I like comfort. Some things I would definitely want to be home, but like a concert, I don't know.
I was
A
gonna
lecture,
say that. Yeah.
I don't know. Like things like that. I think some of those things, but the funny thing is that we're also different. That you're right. It's not going to be a hard sell.
It's not. I don't think so.
It's not.
Because people don't want to be. Let's just use concerts as an example, right? I think it's very comforting and very easy for people to enjoy the performances from home through a screen, and then just be very they don't have to deal with drunk people. They don't have to deal with parking. They don't have to deal with people rubbing into you and then violating your personal space. But I love all that shit. I want to be somebody,
all of
like
it.
the sweat. I want to be covered with sweat and not my own. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just I like that. Like I don't know. It's so human. It's so like
that
primal.
energy.
Bro,
Yeah.
and in these locations is when you interact with people that you would never interact with from different
Right.
cultures.
Right. Yeah. Especially in
From
New
the
York,
left,
yeah.
from the right, from the up, the
Yeah.
down. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was on YouTube this week and they were talking about somebody said that in China they're doing like a credit thing where people are based like, have you seen the Black Mirror episode where everyone has a score, and if you do something in your life, like let's say you lose a job, people can bring your score down. It's like a credit score.
Is that the social media one?
Yeah.
Where it's like the likes or some shit.
Exactly that one. Yeah, I heard that they're doing that in China.
China?
Yeah.
What?
So like a credit score, where credit right now in America it affects us to purchase a home or for a car, but for like more things. So like
You don't have many likes? No car.
yeah.
You have one like? I'm not hiring you. What?
Bro, yeah.
A loser?
When you mentioned China, I thought you were going to mention the COVID tests that they have over there that are mandatory.
No.
The
Technology right now. Technology.
Dude, you talk about China, bro, but you don't think that that's kind of happening already here to a certain extent?
Give me examples. What do you think?
Well, I'll talk to you about something that recently happened, like a couple of days ago. I don't know if you noticed, but did you see that at some point during this week, Instagram hid their likes?
Really?
Did you? I don't know if you knew about that.
No.
Bro, everybody was up in arms about it. Like, how dare you? How could you? So I got this article right here. An Instagram bug briefly hid likes from some of its users on Tuesday after the company accidentally expanded a long-running test of the feature. And they said something like, "We've been testing a new experience to hide likes on posts." A spokesperson for Facebook, which owns Instagram, told CNN Business, "We unintentionally added more people to the test today, which was a bug. We're fixing this issue and restoring like counts to those people as soon as possible." Several users reported seeing the change on their profiles Tuesday, with the number of likes replaced with the phrase "and others." So you couldn't see how many people were liking your picture or your post or whatever. Yeah.
Wow.
People were fucking livid.
Why though?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think, and maybe this article kind of dives into it a little bit. Well, just in general, just to answer it, just straight up. Oh, okay, hold on. Well, a lot of people are making money off of Instagram.
Okay. That,
know what I mean?
that makes sense. That makes
So
sense.
like if you hide their likes, then it's like we can't justify, I guess, charging Instagram for a post because we don't know how many people are liking it. And also it doesn't, I guess in general, like if I have a dope picture, but the person can't see that thousands of people liked it, it just becomes a regular picture.
Yeah.
I do think that's kind of cool though. I don't know. If you ask me, and I'm not to be fair, I'm not making money off of Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make millions off of a post or thousands off of a post, which people do. But I think for the mental state of everybody, I think it may improve that. And I think it might be a lie. I think Instagram might have even done it on purpose just to see everybody's reaction. And people went crazy.
But I think for people who do have a large following and they have to prove that like they get enough views or likes on a certain thing for them to get like sponsorships, right? You can share your analytics off of Instagram, because I remember when if you change it to like where your Instagram account is like a business, you get analytics on how many people visit your account and how many people like certain posts.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So that wouldn't really change. I think it's just more of like the person getting the satisfaction from seeing the number more than anything.
Would Instagram be doing this because they want to charge for the viewing of likes?
Well, they're claiming that it was an accident. They're claiming that it was only a temporary change that didn't stop Instagram users' strong reactions from rolling in, both positive and negative.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
I think it might be. I don't. It might have been just like a let's just test this, or it could have been an accident. We don't know. But I don't know. So
I found an article here. Going back to the China's credit score.
Yeah.
So it says that China's social credit score system expands that idea to all aspects of life, judging citizens' behavior and trustworthiness. Caught jaywalking, don't pay a court bill, play your music too loud on the train. You could lose certain rights, such as booking a flight or train ticket.
What?
What the fuck?
Imagine like a cop walks by, or like somebody notices something and they're like, "You're playing him? Out of all the music you could play?" Points deducted.
What the fuck?
Who decides?
Mm.
Well, in that case, government, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
China, because they're a red state or a communist state, so government controls everything, even business.
And socials too.
Well, I guess, yeah.
We're gonna have to plan, and I'm very serious. We're gonna have to plan a whole bunch of coups.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, everybody. This is where we're gonna arm the violent militia and take everything. All right, I don't know. No, but expand on that a little bit in a way.
With planning the coup?
Yeah.
I think that the more we are living, the more our basic rights are trying to be taken away. Our expression of self. We can't. So what the fuck? I can't jaywalk. I can't play music loud. I can't be this. I can't be that. New York. Can you imagine that in New York? Can you imagine a quiet train in the city?
Jesus
No.
Christ. That's scary.
There would be no 8-Ball jacket video in New York if we had. That man who slapped that girl in the train would not be a national hero that he is today.
What video?
Have you seen the video of the guy on the train? There was this girl. She's like sucking her lips at him, smacking him in the head, and he comes around and smacks her.
No, what the
what?
And it's crazy because that whole time the girl was like bothering him and hitting him, and he was pretty patient with it. And then he just turned around and just.
I can't play it, guys, because of copyright shit, but I'm gonna just see if we can. Is it slap heard around the world?
Yeah.
Oh, this is old.
see?
Oh,
Yeah,
this is
super old.
okay. I seen this. Oh my lord! This fucking guy's gigantic too.
It's
Jesus
crazy
Christ.
because so we can't party now. It said music. I'm not saying smacking girls is partying. I'm talking about music. Talking about music.
Is that your? Oh my god! We can't slap just randomly anymore. No, I know what you mean.
I don't. Going back to even what we started this pod with Texas opening up, now it's sounding like that's might be the wave, honestly, because like, what else is going to be taken from us? And
Right.
I know it's a fine line and it's hard because we're speaking about freedom and we're also speaking about health. And we don't know anything, and a lot of the judgment that we experience on our day-to-day is mixed in with fear, more fear than it is knowledge on a lot of the things that are going on. And it becomes something that it's just something that everyone is doing. So if everyone in New York is saying, no, social distance, do this, do that, then that's going to be the standard because like we've talked about before, we're going to be bullied into doing something.
Yeah.
But essentially, and I have no political agenda. I'm above all of that. I stand for you have the right to choose for yourself in whatever situation. And I think that's fair. I don't know what's going to happen in Texas. I guess we can see what's going to happen, but I have friends that are in Florida. I have friends that are in South Carolina, and those places have been way more open than New York.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anything about them being affected in a bad way.
No. I mean, let me see if I can bring up Florida, like numbers. The numbers have not been that high in general, and they've been open for a minute. Like from the beginning, they're like, yeah, we're not closing, guys.
Yeah.
So much so that it made like people were kind of looking at the governor in like a
Crazy.
really
I was
dope
too.
way.
I was judging him the same way.
Yeah, people are like, oh shit, like he might even run for the presidency.
But when it was happening and I heard in the beginning that they weren't going to close down, my first thought was,
He's dumb.
that's dangerous. You know, we don't really know. But as time has gone on, there are extreme measures, and then there's a fine line for everything. And it's kind of feeling like I'm suffocating. Like I'm in like a bad relationship, and like I can't do nothing because I'm gonna get yelled at for hanging out with my friends in the corner without a mask. Like
Yeah. And the fucked up thing is like we complain a lot about like government imposing these restrictions on us, but people are starting to doing it to each other now.
Yeah.
And that's what's fucked up about it. It's like people are telling other people how to live.
Yeah.
I was having a good conversation with the producer of the show, Rob, right?
Shout out to
the
Rob.
other day. Shout out to Rob, man. And he was saying that, you know, we forget the rights that we have. Like we forget that there is a constitution. And the Constitution emphasizes human rights, individual rights. It has to go back to the individual. It's all about the individual for the most part. You know what I mean? So, and the problem is people jump on these ideological bandwagons because they think they're right. Everybody thinks they're right. And they think they're right, and they think that their cause is the right one. So they go all in.
Yeah.
They go all in, and they don't even consider everything. And then also, and this is all reinforced by, this person is doing the same thing. I see that person doing the same thing. So it's like, I'm part of the group now. And I'm part of a cause now. This is the right cause. And then it's like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Like, how about we question it for like a little bit? And that's the fucking problem, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, not only is government have us in this chokehold, but it's like we have each other in a chokehold.
We play into their cards. Like, it's so easy for them. It's so easy for them, and it boils my blood because it's like, get a fucking backbone and ask questions and make sense for yourself because it's simple. Like, just do it, you know? And it doesn't make sense how we can... You ever been in those situations where you're driving and you see one person or three people, you're in a traffic jam and 3 or 4 people do something illegal, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it with them. Yeah. You know, in New York, that's cool. Like I'm all for it. But in certain situations, it's the same thing. Or like I've seen videos on YouTube where a perfect video. I saw a video of Cristiano. He had an interview with a kid, and the kid was, I think, American. Mm-hmm. He speaks English, but he had learned and practiced a question to ask him in Portuguese. And he tried really hard, and it came out a little butchered, but he did his best. He was a little kid. And everyone in the crowd started laughing at him when he was trying to do it. And then when Cristiano was like, why are you guys laughing at him? He did a good job. Like, give him some credit. Instead, everyone who was laughing started clapping like, oh, good.
Fucks.
Because of Cristiano and how he reacted.
Because he stood up.
Exactly. And then they're like, oh, Cristiano is this person who has so much power. And it's like, blah, blah, blah. Like, we need people to become who they are. And we need individualization. And it might sound like a paradox, but I think that might make us work better together.
Ooh.
You know, because it's like once you respect yourself and you have your own opinion and you trust your own opinion, then you kind of understand where other people are. And if it's not in a sense where you're affecting or harming someone else, then you can still respect and honor someone else's viewpoints and decisions. You know what I mean? And I think that if we ever want to save whatever we're living in, then we're going to have to really sit down and try to figure each other out.
But to your point, before any of that, you have to figure yourself out.
Yeah.
It is counterintuitive, right? Because it's like, well, I want to save the world as part of like the group, like it's a collective. But before you save any world, you have to save yourself.
100%. And then we have already division. So left, right, we have race, we have cultures. And then now they want to add more with these social credit scores that we're more divided. So you're higher if you're this type of person and you're lower if you're this type of person. What else are they going to start dividing?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is divisible. Everything. And it's like, no, we have to get away from that. Like, that's not okay. Like, that's not going to be healthy for none of us. Like, it's scary.
That's what they do, is they divide and then they conquer.
Yeah, it's easier. It's easier. We're just running around, sheep running around. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
boom.
look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Doesn't this make you, doesn't this make you angry? Doesn't this make you angry? Meanwhile, there's people doing just like the most terrible shit in the world behind the scenes.
Yo, it blows my mind.
Bro, crazy.
But these are the ones we call heroes. And then a year later, we massacre them when we say that they're evil and we don't want them anymore. Cuomo's a perfect example of that.
Yeah. What did it was a quote from The Dark Knight that then Jay ended up using in a song. It's like, let me not, because it's such a hard ass quote. Either you live, it's something about hero.
You live long enough, something like that.
You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah.
That's what it is in everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you can use any great person as an example, probably. Cuomo's one. Kanye can be another. And by the way, that's the first time I mentioned Kanye in every episode of the podcast.
Really?
In a negative way. That's so fucked. Isn't that fucked up? People have been, or I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking, but I can imagine people thinking that, oh, Randy started a podcast. It's probably a Kanye podcast, or he's just probably going to talk about Kanye every episode. The first time, you fucks. All right.
My man, going through divorce. You know what though?
I think it's better.
Yeah, and when you go through hardship like that, he's gonna come out even better. So maybe he'll come out with something great. Who knows?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, he's done it before, and he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest of all time. Esteban and I were before we came on air, we were talking about, we love seeing the behind the scenes of something. We love seeing the behind the scenes of a creation, of a piece of art. Man, I think the best example of that, or one of the best examples of that the three of us experienced, along with John, along with Benny, was the Jesus is King screening. The screening of the movie, when he played the album, like all of that. There are so many levels of that whole thing, right? Let me not even talk about the films. Let me not even talk about just like the whole the event, the grandness of the event. The whole thing is, this man wasn't finished with the album. So he said, let me rent out a theater and play it for a lot of people and then see how it goes. Let me just play the rough draft of this shit and then see what works, what doesn't. And then this man went and changed the album. And it's like, what? So we heard the rough draft of that album. Mm. And this is a hot take. This is my personal opinion. It's my favorite album. And I think it's his best album. Mm. Hot take. Because Dark Fantasy is up there. Obviously, you everybody has their own favorite, right? But Jesus is King is nuts. And we saw the behind the scenes of it. We saw him test it, and we saw him in front of people. You know how fearless you have to be to just test your whole thing, like show your work and just here. I don't know, but I'm gonna fix it. Okay, this didn't work. All right, cool. This one really worked, and then you saw that, and it's like, what the? And he's just doing it, and he does it, and he doesn't care. I don't know. I don't know.
I like artists like him. I like artists like Bad Bunny that are innovators that do things differently. So they're in New York City on a bus and people are following them. Like with Kanye, it took us so long to get those tickets, but it was cool getting those tickets. And even if we failed, it was like we were still a part of the experience. Even if we took the L, there is more like connection with the people that they're creating these things for. And there's no separation. So for me, I think that's awesome. And it always goes back to, like, for me, the community where they should be doing more of this stuff. Where if Kanye did that all the time, how lit would that be? Or if artists did that all the time, how lit would that be?
Created for the community out of love, out of like sheer just passion, or just sheer like
it's different. Yeah, just an interaction, just like for the atmosphere,
for the culture, yeah, for everything. Fuck. How do you feel about it? You're mad quiet over there.
Yeah, nah, because I was gonna say I struggled trying to get those tickets. I didn't succeed, but I heard you guys got your phones taken away for that event too. That you couldn't record, or you put it in like a certain bag and it was locked.
Yeah, they didn't let you have your phones or nothing. It's like a locked up pouch that you had to.
What?
Yeah.
What was it called? I forgot the name of the pouch. But yeah, you can't take your phone out when it's in that pouch. But Benny tried to keep fucking taking it out of the pouch. Yeah. I think he finally got it at the end too.
Yeah, he got it out.
But those things make shows like a lot better, I think. I think it's called a Yonder case. Yeah. And you'll see a lot of comedians use the same thing too, because they don't want people fucking around on their phone, taking pictures. Like, you're in the moment.
Yeah, it's better.
You're in the moment. Like and this kind of goes back to the other thing. Is like sometimes we forget to be in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, we want to connect so bad through the screen, but we don't connect in real life, in real time. You know what I mean?
That Igor concert,
that Igor concert is another thing.
Oh my God, that was after everything that happened beforehand, all leading up to that day and that moment. It was beautiful.
Can you walk us through
what happened
beforehand? God, I love this shit, dude.
So, for people who don't know, right? So
I love this shit.
So I went to it was a lovely night, Wednesday night, and I was with a couple friends, and we wanted to go to Queens to pick up a certain friend because he was bored.
What time was it?
It was like 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
What day was it?
Like a Wednesday.
A Wednesday.
It was 9/11.
School night, you delinquent.
Shut up.
Go ahead.
So we decided to go only because he said he'd pay for gas money. So then we were like, oh, okay, let's go pick him up. He's at a Taco Bell. We pick him up. He's in the car. We're talking. We park like to the left of the Taco Bell, and we're talking. And across the street we see some woman, and then we're like, okay, cool, fuck them. We're talking. They come across the street. They almost got hit by a car, by the way, like almost crossing the street. So I was like laughing, and then they come across the street. One girl like goes on the hood, and then she's like talking to the people in the front of the car. And for your information, it was me in the back left seat of the car, behind the driver, and then three of my other friends. One of my friends was to the right, also in the back, and then we had the passenger seat and then the driver. So my friend in the passenger seat, right? Let's just keep him anonymous. I'm gonna call him Bob, right? So he's one cocky motherfucker, and the woman come to the car. Turns out they are workers, prostitutes,
workers of the night, ladies of the night,
ladies of the night.
I see.
So
Shout out to them.
And they're talking, and he likes to fuck around with women,
Or
with
women.
people,
Okay.
right? So they're talking, they're having a whole chat, talking about prices, and while feeding her Taco Bell chips, while feeding her, and then a girl comes to my window and she's trying to talk to me, and I'm trying to like record it on my phone because I'm like, this is sketch, this is weird.
What did these women look like?
I don't. It was,
What they? What did you mean?
Were
Like,
they Spanish? Were they
yeah,
short?
they looked.
They were attractive.
They're like short, Spanish. One looked nice.
were they really like loud or were they?
Nah,
No, they were like.
not really.
They were just trying to like sweet talk you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we go through the conversation and everything, and then we get to the end, and then they're like talking about prices. Bob, he's like $400 from each of us.
Each or for all?
From each.
Oh my goodness.
He's like we run a train, and I'm like,
Jesus Christ.
and then I'm like, what? I want to go home.
I thought you were alarmed at the price that he put out.
I was.
That's way too much.
But we said that because none of us has that amount of money,
It's also too much. It's overpriced. But go ahead.
right? So he's continuing talking to the girl. It was two girls, by the way, at the passenger window. The girl at my window, right? I had my window up. I put my window down. She's like, "What's your name?" I tell her my name, and then I decide not to speak to her. And then I'm trying to record everything like on Snap or like on video, just to get audio.
Record just like the conversation. that's
Yeah,
happening
like I had
between Bob
my
and
phone down on my lap, and I was trying to record the audio.
Okay.
And then she's like, "Oh, what are you recording for, like Snapchat?" And I was like, "Fuck." She saw it, so canceled that. And then we're like, "Oh, okay." Talking about the prices still, and then we're like, "Okay, we're gonna think about it." And by think about it, we meant we're not coming back here. We're gonna go Seaf. We're gonna go Seaf, right? We're gonna go
What?
reefer.
Oh,
Reefer.
See. I can't keep up with y'all. Go ahead.
So we're about to leave, right? And then we see these women run away, and we're like, why are they running away? And then, there's like 3 cars that come around, and then I see red and blue lights, and I'm like, great. It's school night, right? And then, a bunch of flashing lights, flashlight comes in, and then I'm like, are these cops? They're
Whoa.
cops.
Stressed.
So like 1 van, and then 2 other cop cars, and then we're all getting like taken out of the car, getting cuffed. Our rights weren't told to us, by the way. You know how like they cuff you up and they're like, you have the right to remain silent and everything.
Miranda rights. Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't told. So we get cuffed, and they're like, get in the van. And I'm like, I'll get in the van. I don't have a choice. And then we meet another guy. I'll call him Tyler. Tyler was the one that got fucked over before us, right? Random guy, but same story. He pulled up, wanted to eat his McChicken, right? Same thing. The girls came, wanted to talk, got fucked over. So then he came, and he's like, I heard you guys the whole time in the truck. They fucked you over just how I did. And I'm like, damn.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So he heard the whole conversation, and then we're so we get in the van, and we're headed to, I think, whatever precinct, right? And we're talking to the cops, and they're like, don't say this, because then you'll just stay in the cell for a longer time. And I'm like, wow, this really happened.
Oh, wait, so were those 2 women police officers?
I'll get to that. So we go, and we're talking to them, and some of them are chill, some of them are dickheads. They're like cutting ass, right? And we get there, we're like chained up by like a link. So it's like a main chain, and then all of our cuffs are like attached to it. So we're all together, and then we get put in a cell, and then we had to get checked for like our like laces.
I
Right?
thought you guys were like deloused or something. You ever
No,
seen Shawshank Redemption? Like on some shit like that? Anyway, go ahead. I don't know.
Right. Speaking of that, though, we were going to cop beforehand.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't.
I mean, yeah, because that would have, yeah.
That would have been a
added
shit
that.
show.
At the time, I don't think weed was decriminalized either, right?
No.
Yeah,
And
I'm
it
fucked, bro.
was a lot, but we get put in the cell, and we're getting like some processes are going on. They're calling our parents. They're like, we're calling your parents. And I'm like, fuck. I'm gonna die. And they're like, we're gonna tell your parents that you got into a fist fight, because if we tell them what happened, God knows what they're gonna do to you. And I'm like, oh,
What?
yeah, because what? Your son got caught talking to a prostitute. No, your son got in a fist fight. I'm like, okay, that sounds better. I could work with that. Okay. And they're like, everybody's mom answered, right? All of my friends' mothers answered. And then my mother didn't answer initially. And then I was like, fuck. She needs to answer, right?
Yeah.
And then we're just, okay, so we're in that cell for like 4 to 5 hours. And we met 2 people. This big guy, this big Colombian guy, right? Mm-hmm. And then this Asian guy who didn't really speak much English. And they were brought in for like actual crazy shit. And the Asian guy didn't want to talk. So they brought him to interrogate him into like a certain room, right? And the Colombian guy who I was talking about, he was just cutting ass on the cops and everything, right? And shout out to him, by the way, because before we left, he bought us snacks. Oh. And then he's like, I'm going to be locked up a long time. You guys are nice. And then I was like, oh, thank you. Mm. So I was it was uncomfortable. It smelled like piss on the floor and everything. So I just interval with naps. Like I'd lean on my friend, I'd lean on him. And they took away our laces before we got into the cell because I guess some people would try to commit suicide, try to hang themselves, right?
In a holding cell?
Yeah, with like laces or anything. And Jesus. So I wake up and I'm like, oh, how long has it been? They're like 20 minutes. I'm like, oh my God. And then I wake up and then the cop's looking at me. He's like, you look like you're 7. And then I'm like, he's cutting my ass. And I'm like, what'd I do?
Yeah. Wow.
I'm already in here. Leave me alone.
I guess I don't. Was he trying to like make light of the situation?
I don't know.
Or, like kind of make you feel better. I don't know.
Yeah. And then the last thing that happened that had like major purpose before we went to bookings, right? Came in and they started asking me questions. They're like, "Who's Esteban?" And I'm like, I woke up. I'm like, huh, me. So they're like, "You said let's do it, right? You wanted to go through with this whole thing?" And I was like, in my head, I'm like, this motherfucker really thinks I wanted to do this. So I'm like, no. I'm like nervously saying, I'm like, no, I didn't want to do anything. And then everybody behind me is like, nah, he didn't do anything. And then the Colombian guy backed me up and he's like, shut the fuck up. You're trying to literally pressure this kid into like admitting that he did it. And then he's like, all right, okay. So he gives up, right? And then we leave. We wait a couple more hours and then we get transferred, right? And then we're driven. We get put in my fingerprints, right? Wow. My fingerprints are taken.
Dude, wow.
My eyeballs get scanned, right? So like you know like the cameras on those corners and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know where I am.
Wow. That is a thing in New York City.
Yeah, that is a thing.
Oh my fucking.
So I could go on a stroll for some nice Chick-fil-A on a Saturday. And they'd be like, oh, wow, he went to Chick-fil-A on a Saturday. That's crazy. And I'm like, these motherfuckers know.
Where are the prostitutes? Are they with?
Jesus Christ.
And before we left to bookings, they were like, we found out, they were like, those prostitutes were cops. And they had mics on them. And that's how they heard us. And I was like, these bitches. I was betrayed.
Oh, my God. So the ladies of the night were cops the whole time.
The ladies of the night were ladies of the law.
That's fucking... All right, so then let me ask you a question. So did you guys... Did anybody approach them first?
No, they came to us. We were literally across the street. They had to walk to us to talk to us.
My God, man.
What did you guys have any cash on you?
I was the one who had like the most money on me, which got me even more nervous. I had like $80.
Okay.
Everybody else had like $10, $20, $5 for food. You know, that 4 for 4 at Wendy's.
There was no alcohol. There was no drugs. There was no illicit contraband.
Nothing.
Guns.
Needles.
Yeah. What do you take me for?
I'm just trying to get all the facts over here. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah. Question them. Yeah, press them. I don't know. Because listen. Well, can I say to begin with?
What?
And this is my first reaction. This is maybe other people's reactions. What the fuck are you guys doing out at that time on a fucking Wednesday in that area? I'm not taking anything away from what you said.
Of course.
But it's like, what the fuck? And you know,
it's a change of pace.
And people are going to keep trying to poke holes. It's like, all right, are you, so they didn't approach you guys at all? Like, at all?
No.
They approached you, they started talking to you.
Yeah.
at what point did you guys see the lights? Like, was there any kind of sign from these women, like kind of like signaling like, okay, get them or anything like that?
Nah,
But the mics, right?
we didn't even see the mics.
No, but they had mics.
Yeah, they had mics. They were recording a whole podcast, and I didn't even know about it. And I didn't even know about it.
I don't know the law. I don't know if speaking of getting money and coming back
It might,
is enough.
It might be like once they heard the dollar amount, like once they heard
that's
a
what they said.
transaction
That's
was
what they
going to
said.
occur, that's when they're like, okay, we got them.
Yeah.
I was home when all this happened, and I was, like a good boy. I was.
Oh, really? No.
I was there reading the Bible and spraying my room with holy water. When I get the call from my mom and she's like, Stefan's in jail. And I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. Like,
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
I was like, no way, you're lying. Like, this is a joke. She's like, nah, for real. Like, he's in jail. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
How the fuck is Esteban in jail? Like, how the fuck? Yeah.
And he was the youngest one out of all four of them. He was the only one that was
I'll get to that.
sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Do you want to continue, or should I start like the bookings process? Right.
Well, no, he was just the youngest one out of all of them. So I know that they handle that differently than they do
Yeah.
otherwise.
So when you get transferred into bookings, right? They cuff you up, and then there's a waiting process to actually go through bookings, right? And I stayed with my friends for like at least an hour after I got my fingerprints and my eyeball scanned. And then they're like, "How old are you?" I'm like, I was 17 at the time. Yeah, 17. I'm like, I'm 17. And they're like, all right, come with me. And I'm like, ah, shit. So then I get put in a cell, and then I'm like, all right, my friends are gonna come with me. And I literally see them walking in the hallway to a different cell towards like the adult 18 plus, right? And then they're looking at me and they're laughing at me because I got separated. And I'm like, I'm looking at them. I'm like, you motherfuckers. And they're looking at me and they're dying laughing. And you know what? That whole process, it was funny when we were together.
Okay.
And it was freezing. It was like 40 degrees,
All right.
50 degrees. Some of us, like there's some guy in like a wife beater and I'm like, yo, he's freezing. So from what I went through, right, there was this one guy. He was pretty much like nervous and scared the whole time, and he didn't really speak much English. He only spoke Spanish. So I assumed he was in there for like, I'm assuming like immigration things. And this other kid started riding this like motorcycle that his friend had, and then it turns out it was stolen, and then he was the one that got caught riding it. And that all happened. I started talking to them, right? And it turns out I was more friendly with the other people in the cell rather than like the cops, right?
Sure.
They were like, I got along with them more. I mean, it makes sense though, because you're like, you both have that same hate towards like them, right?
You're in a similar situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everything was happening and we had enough space to like go to sleep and everything. I was in there for like 10 to 12 hours, I think.
Wow.
No. Because, okay,
You got in there
I got, no. So from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m., I was in the precinct, and then I got transferred, and I got to bookings like at 3 a.m., right? And I was there till like 4 p.m. Yeah. So time was moving hella slow, and I was in this room, and I was like, wow, this is fucking boring. This is stupid. And the main rule, don't take a shit.
Why?
Then you'd stink up the whole place.
Oh, because the toilet is right there.
Yeah,
like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you're
And
like,
I knew that because of what my friends went through. Because there's obviously more adults would be arrested, right?
yeah.
Apparently it was packed. There was like people sleeping on the floor and stuff. And there was this like, my friend Bob had to deal with like this crackhead that would fart every like 2 seconds right next to them. And the food that they gave us, right? It was all like expired stuff. Like, they're like, you want the sandwich? I'm like, just give me the water. Just give me the water.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude.
And
Fuck.
after a certain point during the day, right? Once I hit like 12 a.m. to 1 p.m., we started getting transferred closer and closer. And you'd meet up with a lawyer, the public attorney, right? And luckily, my friend Bob said that he did, which he did, because he talked. he was the one who talked the most, that he was the cause of why this all happened, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of cleared up a lot of stuff, which is kind of like why we got our asses saved, I think.
Yeah, but did he took the charge though? Or I don't...
No. He didn't take any charge. He just like made it clear that like
he was the only one
him.
involved.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So then the public attorney came to talk to me, and he was like, all right, $200 fine, right? Or whatever amount of public service hours, right? Just plead guilty. And I'm like, wow, I have to plead guilty to this shit.
For what though? For what?
For
Soliciting
a prostitute,
soliciting.
right? Wow. So the deal was, it was essentially a deal. It wasn't my public attorney. It was a deal.
It's always deals.
It's always deals.
Yeah.
So he was like, all right, so this is the thing. $200 fine and you get out. Stay out of trouble for 6 months. And I'm like, all right, easy. Just plead guilty. And then I'm like, this motherfucker. I wasn't in the wrong. I'd like to believe I wasn't in the wrong, right? But my options were $200 fine and freedom, or I stay in the cell for like God knows how long, and I fight it, right? No, I'm not staying in that cell. So I waited longer and longer, and at a certain point, there was a phone on the wall, right, to call people. I called my brother at least 20 times because I called them because I was bored out of my mind. I'm like, what time is it? He's like, 3 p.m.
So there's no concept of time in there at all. There's no clock. There's no
nope,
nothing.
Nope. It's just you're there and you wait. That's it. So I'm there and I'm like, what time is it? He's like 3 p.m. I'm like, all right, I wait. I'm like, oh, it feels like it's been hours. I call him. What time is it? 3:10. I'm like, I'm like, what?
They call me every 10 minutes. That was so funny.
And then I'm getting information from him from the outside, and they're like, oh, everybody got out. And I'm like, what?
Oh my God. Everybody had already gotten out?
Yeah.
You're
So I'm nervous,
one?
and I'm like, why am I the last one?
Oh, dude.
And I'm talking to some cop that's walking in the hallway, and then I'm like, why am I the last one to get out? And then she was like, well, I guess they snitched on you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
they
she
set you
didn't
up.
she said that to you.
Yeah, because she obviously didn't want to deal with my bullshit. She didn't want to deal with my bullshit, and she had work to do, right? So she's like, oh, if you're the last one in here, I guess, they fucked you over. And I'm like, nah, they wouldn't do that.
But why does she have to say some shit like that?
I don't know.
What does she fucking gain? Like, why? Like, I guess just to fuck with you? Because I don't know. Like,
Probably.
Come on, man.
So that happened, and then they're like, all right, go to court. And I'm like, all right. Because there's this mini court building after you leave the bookings, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a U. You start at the top of the U, and then you go around, and then once you're closer to where the entrance to the court is, then you begin, right? So they tell me, they're like, say yes to this, say no to this. Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. And I'm like, all right. I fucked it all up in the fucking courtroom. I was like, yeah, I plead guilty. And then they're like, just say yes. And I'm like, yes. And then they were getting annoyed because they were like, all right, let's go this way. And I'm like, yeah, man, come on. Like, I'm not trying to cause any trouble for you. I'm just trying to make this as easy as possible. And then they're like getting pissed at me. And I'm like, fuck these motherfuckers, yo. And that's all done. I get released, and then I see my mom outside, and then she's like crying. And then
Oh my God, that poor woman.
Yeah.
Jeez.
and then they're like, she's like, Poppy, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. And I'm like, yes, mother. Yes, I am
You've
free.
been locked up in the clink.
Yeah, right? I'm like, I'm free. And she was talking to some other woman that I guess had their kid inside, you know.
Yeah.
And so from then on, I drove home, and I smelled like piss, and I took a shower, and then I was like, look at the time. Gotta catch a train. So I go from the train, and then I meet with you, sir, at the Madison Square Garden? Right?
Yeah.
I meet with you, and I'm like, I'm free. I'm free. Yes, Lord, I'm free.
So how long were you free for? How long were you free for before you were like, yeah, I have to go see Tyler. I have to go to
2 hours.
Yeah, he got home, and we were running to the train.
Literally, it was, I got out. I'm like, let's go. Got out, took a shower, bought some food, ate it on the way there. And then boom, we're already on the ride there to the train, and then I meet with you.
But your priorities, ladies and gentlemen, real dedication. Gee, yo, that's fucking.
And then he took
crazy.
a picture of like my ass knocked out in the train like right after, because I was like, my mind, I wasn't even. It's funny because when I was in there, my mind wasn't even like stressed. I was like, I'm getting out of here. I don't give a fuck. My mind was like, what time is it? What time is it? And I'm like, I can't miss this fucking concert.
What?
I can't miss this concert.
You hear this guy?
So excited, and it was like the worst timing to get arrested. Like,
It's because your mom.
9/11.
Yeah, your mom really was like, yeah, you just went to the concert, I guess.
Yeah, I paid for it. Well, I didn't pay for it, but it was paid for, right? So I'm like, this will not go to waste.
and he was accompanied by the child of God. Me, so,
you.
Yeah, of course.
I related so much to Esteban when I saw him.
The religious
I
child.
was like, oh, my fellow jailbird.
It's crazy because
It was so therapeutic when
When you finally got there, right?
Yeah, and then I screamed for like the past hour, and then he left, and then Frank Ocean was in the crowd.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
it was an awesome concert, fire seats.
ASAP
general.
Rocky was there too.
Dude, when ASAP Rocky came out,
It was insane.
it was like a bomb went off.
Literally.
That fucking building almost collapsed.
Oh,
It was nuts. Because that was like one of the first times that he was like out in public on stage from when he went through that whole thing in Sweden. When he got locked
Oh
up.
yeah.
Wait, was that his first time?
That was one of his first public appearances after he came back from that.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you both had very public appearances after being locked up in the same place. Very
Crazy.
nice. Yeah, it's very, very lovely.
Great story to tell now though.
Yeah, right.
Do you feel a little bit better about it in the sense? Like, how has this had an effect on you?
I definitely did not go outside as much as I did before, right? Because, the way that everything worked with my friends, we mostly went out at night. And that's when we'd like just fuck around and do whatever, right? So I definitely got more anxious, right? And so you know how sometimes people get nervous and they always have to like check their back or behind them when they're walking somewhere?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Like I didn't feel secure or safe at all. Cause I was like, all right, like cops are supposed to, but I knew from the start some cops are pieces of shit. Some. Right? And then my mom initially thought it was like, oh, they protect their communities, they take care of everything and, make sure that everything is safe. And then I got out and there she was like, puto pendejos, like pieces of shit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, her whole opinion changed on it. And then I'm better now. I go out and stuff, but whenever people like, for simple things, right? For reefer, right? Like whenever there's an event for that, right? And I just want to smoke. Let's say somebody pulls it out in a car. I'll like, I'm like, fuck, like just get this over with, like roll it up and smoke.
Do you just look at them and go, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not doing it. You fucks. All right, get out. No.
That's why like my policy from now on is like make sure you roll that shit up before we go, because I don't want you with like this large amount of shit and then something happens because you were fucking dumb.
Yeah. It's
Hey, but it's decriminalized now.
It is decriminalized, but the fuckery unfortunately continues.
Yeah.
And the thing is, man, like it, thank God that the situation came to an end. Everything was resolved, and even though you had, it had an effect on you, and understandably, of course. Just thank God it wasn't worse, man. Because you could have easily been another Khalif Browder or something. You know what I mean? And that story's tragic. He wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
I think he was just going. He was like leaving a party or going to a party or something, and then they just snatched him up, and then he was on Rikers for years, and they committed suicide when he got out. It's shit like that. It's stories like that I think I don't know. Maybe people aren't aware of or people forget, but it's that easy. All you were doing, even though you shouldn't have been fucking out.
Oh, yeah.
But all you guys were doing was just hanging out.
Yeah.
And these people tried to entrap you.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Like actual entrapment.
Yeah, that.
Fuck them.
it's crazy because we both know Esteban.
Yeah.
We would never imagine him to get arrested.
No, he's the last one.
So it's like, how many more people are in jail now that we look at and we think of in a certain way, and they're actually great or good people?
Right.
Often
That's
cases,
right.
that's how it is. Yeah. Because I was taught like there's like jail cells across from us too, and we were talking like to them, and they were talking about like what happened to them. Like given they can lie about their situation and everything, but everybody in there was just another person, and I felt like we were being treated as like dogs in a kennel. In all honesty,
It's crazy. My mom was telling me that when they were in the courtroom, there was a family there who was from another culture, and there was a daughter with the mother there, and they were speaking in their language. And there was a police officer in the courtroom that was upset with them talking and screamed at them at like the top level of her voice and was like, "Get the fuck out of the courtroom!" Like treated them like if they were nothing. In a situation where they were trying to get their son out of jail, already worried, stressed out, like, why?
make the situation worse.
That, yes, but are our egos fed because we are police officers or we're a part of the law?
Mm.
Isn't this the motto? What is it? Serve and protect?
Yeah. Or protect and serve or whatever.
Oh, whatever it is. I mean, they don't
really do. I mean, listen, this is revenue collection by the state.
Pretty much.
Because you had to pay at the end, you had to pay what? It was $200.
200.
So you were
And if I didn't pay it, then
kept for hours.
for $200.
That's what it is.
And they did the same thing to a kid before him. So they were just waiting and getting whoever they were there.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell is not going to talk to two attractive women that are there and just talking shit to them? Like, I would have got caught up too. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
what else can they be doing with that money? What else can they be putting in? Or like, what other crime? Go look up these crimes of the people that are doing shit behind the closed doors or something. You know what I mean? Like, why do they have to come and essentially fuck kids up for $200?
I mean, gotta meet that status quota at the end of the month.
That blows me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fucking, it's gonna be so fucking mad. I mean, who wouldn't get mad? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, bro? Now, was it only time that, like, as time passed, you felt a little bit better about the situation, or was it other things that you came across that kind of helped you put things into perspective, feel a little bit more calm in general, and even just look at the situation in like a positive light? I don't know.
You know, the way I look at it in a positive light is like that, like, hey, I got arrested. You know, this is a great story to tell. You know, even now, I can tell it to my kids. I'm like, son, and get arrested one day with my friends.
We just send them this podcast.
Yeah, right. I'm like, this happened. Yeah, but in that sense, you know, I went through all that with my friends, and we talked about it, and it was a great experience. But in a bad sense, it was took me like months, and I stay inside usually. I don't really go out, but I'd avoid leaving the house as much as possible, as much as I could. And then if I saw anything regarding like cops, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like driving and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one time I was driving and I saw like behind me lights going on. I'm like, fuck. And then he was chasing somebody else. I'm like, thank God. Thank God.
And it's crazy because one of his friends that was a part of the situation, they have family members that are police officers, and they got out the same night.
He got out.
So
Like
it was because of that.
So yeah, of course.
Yeah, right.
So you're a part of the team. So don't worry, you don't have to pay the fine, and you can go out. So is it that serious, or do they have to keep these people in there for that long for $200?
No,
You know what I mean? What is the?
It's a business. It's
It's crazy.
It's all a business. Bro.
If it was about principle, it doesn't matter if you have family and and he's a cop.
Yeah.
The principle is you did something wrong and you're going to pay the fine and do the time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about principle.
No, it's no. No,
It's not about that.
No, unfortunately, it's not, man. It's all a business, and this is the same type of business that funds private prisons. It's what continues, the modern day slavery that exists currently, and we're part of the demographic that's affected the most. It's blacks and Latinos, and it's fucked up. It's where is so how the fuck do people expect anybody to believe in police, in government, in systems, in any of that, you expect people to do so?
No.
Well,
why would they?
Fuck all that shit, man. I don't know, man.
Something's off.
It's all fucked, bro.
Something's off.
Anyway, anime.
Great introduction.
Anyway.
We don't have the answers here, guys. You know what I mean? You don't come here to look for fucking answers.
We just experience these things and we deal with it.
Yeah. God damn it.
And we tell you what happened.
Oh, man. No, for real, though. I started watching Attack on Titan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Only recently, so I'm not even
How far
in it at all. We do like 3 episodes, dude. Like nothing.
What'd you get from it?
The way this shit started, though, I was like, whoa, this is heavy. This is dark.
Yeah,
Especially when the shit starts and it's like, this is like this scene where like it was like these soldiers coming back from some kind of battle, and then this guy has
The Scout Regiment.
this like so this woman comes running up to him and is like, oh my God, have you seen my son or something like that? And then he's like, this is the last that was left of him, and it was like an arm. Like, what the fuck? Like, how cruel are you, by the way? You're gonna give the mother the arm or like the whatever the limb was.
You know what's crazy about that too? When that happened, she was at the very least she asked him, the commander at that time, right? She was like, was my son of use? Did we make any progress? And then he lied initially, and he was like, yeah, we did. And then he's like, nah, we didn't. And then he broke down, and he was like, we didn't find anything, as always. And
well, before that, though, when because she asked him, was like, did he die like a I don't know, like was his death like valuable, or like did he die in vain or anything like that? I thought I was like, this guy's heartless. So I thought he was gonna just lean in and say, he died like a little bitch. I thought he was gonna say something like that. I was like, dude. But so far I like it. I hear that it's like the most watched.
It's the most watched show right now in America.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Let's look it up. We're gonna fact check a little bit on this.
You know IMDb episodes, like top 10 episodes in history. Attack on Titan has like at least 3. I know one of them is number 1.
Whoa.
It's a very prestigious.
Of all time.
Of all time. With Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad up there, they have like 5 episodes up there.
Can you do me a favor? Because I'm not as entrenched in the anime world as you guys. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'm a novice. Like, what is it about this show, and maybe even anime in general, that is so appealing? That is so, what is it? What do you like? What about it you fuck with the most, or anything?
It all depends if you like that. It's highly dramatic, first off, right? And there's always deeper meanings that root from like things that we already know in the real world, or even like for example, you know how everybody's surrounded by the walls in the show, right?
Yeah.
They're in a birdcage essentially.
Yeah.
So they don't really know anything about the outside world, and they're secure. Once you delve deeper into it, right? Then everything is revealed. But okay. For example, we watch One Piece, a show called One Piece. And for your information, right, that show's been running for like 20 years. It started in 1999, right? That was the first episode. Aired every Sunday. And due to Corona, that was the first time it stopped airing.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday. That was the first time that it stopped since 1999.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they recently, like back in July, they started it back up again, right?
Same voice actors.
Same everything. And there's people that in the industry that have voice acted that have passed away because like this has like been running for forever. The manga, which is, for people who don't know, manga is the like essentially the comic books, or like the books with the illustrations and the stories that come before it. So they use that as a storyboard to construct each episode, right? It hit like 1,000 chapters like last month. Yeah. And there's this scene near like the first 100 episodes. There's this quack doctor, right? So they're in this kingdom, and the ruler is just selfish, corrupt, and everything, and he's keeping like all the doctors like for himself, right? Because he's important, right? So all the people that live under him are all like suffering and everything because he's just greedy. And then it was all like a trap for him, that because they told him like, oh, all the doctors are sick that work there. You know, you have to go take care of him. Boom, he came to the castle. It was a lie. They went there for him to kill him, right? Spoilers. And he said certain things during his scene where he died that was powerful. He was talking about when a man truly dies. So does a man truly die when he's shot by a gun or stabbed with a knife? And he finished it with, a man truly dies when he is forgotten.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There's gems in these shows. There's real.
Yeah, there's like real.
No, not gems. There is no comparison to the story writing that these shows have.
Is it because of the amount of time that they've been developed? Because from what I understand, are mangas written by only one person?
Yeah, so they'll have like the director of like the story and the art, and then sometimes they'll have like assistants and stuff, if they choose to like help them like with the drawings and the illustrations, or they could just do the whole thing on their own. And they'll have like chapters released depending if it's like a popular running series once every week. And for shows like like stories like One Piece, it all depends. It could be monthly.
A lot of the basis of these shows are concepts that we know today of spirituality, of religions, but
Finding meaning.
Yeah.
But they're personified to a different extreme. So the people and the characters in these shows have powers based off of life energy, based off of training, based off of mental development. There's, in all the shows that you watch, the most important thing the main characters or the most important characters have is resolve. What that means is drive, passion to fulfill whatever the fuck they want to do. And usually the main character is always the one who's going against the grain, the person who's always doing the things that everyone sees as crazy. And he's always seen as evil, but he's always the hero saving these in One Piece, for example, he's a pirate, but he saves every place that he goes to.
Kingdom that's full of corruption and everything.
And he's always fighting the Navy, trying to save these places because the Navy and the world government is oppressing the world.
Yeah.
So you watch these shows and it's like, whoa, like it gives a different perspective because it's like, this is what we're living now. And it makes you think like, one, you can't really trust everything you see. And two, you really don't know anyone unless you know them personally. And the way the stories are told, the voice acting that they have, the animation, it's from one moment it can have you crying, where another moment it'll have you shocked because someone is getting their head cut off, and then another moment it'll be like you're so happy and you're so passionate with joy because it's like they're speaking to you, and it's like, I can't give up right now because I have my family and I need to save these people and I need to do what I have to do to become the best person that I can. So it's like everything mixed into a perfect story. And I've seen Game of Thrones, I've seen Breaking Bad, I've seen a whole bunch of great shows, and there is none of them compared to anime. It has to be your cup of tea. And on top of that too, I like watching my shows subbed, so it's all Japanese and I read the wording. And
Dubbed?
Dubbed is
like,
when they switch it to English, so they have the English voice actors.
Oh, I see. So like you listen to it in Japanese and then you
I
just
read the
subtitles.
subtitles. Exactly.
Okay. Oh, that's
And
cool.
I'm learning Japanese. You know what I mean? So it's cool, and it's like you have a different outlook on their culture and their wording, and it's a different layer of it, you know? So it's like kind of makes me want to go to Japan, you know, and see their culture and experience all of that.
Half their culture is all like, the anime industry over there is basically what makes them money. Everything is like anime based over there. Almost.
He shows me that they have in parks, regular parks, like
They'll have like
of the city,
statues.
they have statues of anime figures.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it.
So I mean, wow. So it really dominates culture over there.
Yeah.
And there was this thing that was said after this big war happened in the show, right? In the show. So
show?
One Piece.
Okay.
So they were talking about it, and one guy was contemplating to himself while speaking to somebody. He was like, what is justice, right? What is true justice, right? In the sense that nobody really knows what it is. It just, whoever has the most power defines what justice is, right? The police have the most power, and the Navy and the show have the most power, right? But there are certain people coming out of the background and out of nowhere that have the power to change that, right? So whoever wins at the end decides what becomes the norm or what becomes true justice in that sense. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not it's all bullshit. Like we all said, it's all bullshit. The cops they're like, oh, this is how everything's supposed to be. It's because they have power, right?
Right.
Whoever has power decides what is right and wrong. And that's the base of everything.
And absolute power
Yeah.
corrupts absolutely.
Bars.
It's true. Yeah.
Bars.
How has this is empowering.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
How long have you been into this world? How long or both of you, both of you?
Long time, I guess. Well, I mean, initially I didn't know, but even like shows like Pokemon and stuff like that are like anime. They don't have those deeper meanings, obviously, but
you've learned from these shows. Like you've extracted wisdom from these shows, and I'm sure it's helped you in a lot of different ways.
you know what's a perfect example of that? Not an anime, but recently Avatar got put back on Netflix.
Okay.
That show has so many, like, because they're all monks and stuff, has so many deeper hidden meanings and, like, with virtue about life. It's ridiculous. I rewatched it and I'm like, wow.
It gives you goosebumps because I remember this part in Avatar where in Avatar there's 4 great nations.
Yeah.
The fire, wind, earth, and
water.
And water, correct.
Yeah.
And they're talking about them, and he draws lines around them, and then I think he draws a circle over them.
Yeah.
So he's like, we're all separated into these 4 boxes, but in reality, the world wouldn't be one without all 4 of them together. And you see how they all interact with each other and how they hate each other, and you're like, this is so stupid. It kind of puts in perspective what we live in now, but in a show where you can watch it in a different way, where it's like, okay, maybe I kind of do these things, or maybe I see these things happening in my life. But they talk about, in Avatar specifically, they talk about meditation, they talk about awakening, they talk about the chakra systems, that if you're blocked, you have to...
Dude.
Yeah.
There was a monk who was talking about it, and he was like, you know, a flowing river, if it's clogged with weeds, you're not going to be able to, like, nothing's going to flow through. But once you meditate and take all that in, it opens up and the rest flows.
People dismiss these type of things because they already have an idea in their head. Because what do? We hear
Cartoons.
Meditation, we associate that with religions.
Oh.
We hear cartoons, we associate that with kids, so it can't give kids anything meaningful.
Yeah, my father would never watch anime. Like I would never see him or somebody older or somebody kind of like that's like kind of like locked into like the real world and whatever they consider real is like even entertaining, something like anime. So they close themselves off.
Exactly. But when you really take the time and you find a show that you like or you find different shows, like poppin'. So good.
How did you react when I'm gonna speak about Attack on Titan specifically, but when they broke the wall and all of that chaos happened? Like, okay, specifically, right? The end of the first episode. Spoilers if you don't want to listen, right? When the mom got stuck under the house.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. It's gut-wrenching because you're just, holy shit, this is actually happening right now. And everybody's so powerless. Like, they're so vulnerable to these titans, to these things that just, when I saw the mom, I was like, dude, this is really going to happen right now? Like, this is just going to And then that guy had to make the decision to save the kids or save the mom.
And initially he was gonna fight it, and then he was scared shitless, and he's like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm taking the kids and running."
Because he knew it's like, nah, I can't
Yeah.
do anything here.
And then he had to watch his mom get eaten.
Question for you. Where do you stand with it? What's your idea of it? Is it hard for you to connect to it? Do you like more like a reality show, like a Sopranos? Like, what is your take on it?
You know, bro, I'm very new to it, so I'm still I'm learning more about it, and that's why I wanted to even talk to you guys about it, because there's a lot that I don't understand about it, because I feel like I myself have closed myself off to something like anime. Because if you've ever been in a conversation with people when you're talking about like your favorite cartoons and this and that, and then most people are like, oh, Cartoon Network, and then other people are like, Nickelodeon. And like I was more Nickelodeon, but I never really watched cartoons like that.
Okay.
In general, like I was always watching like real shows.
Mm.
And also I think it was instilled in me that like anything that's like about fantasy, about like anything cartoonish, anything that's maybe unrealistic is just not going to serve you. It might have been instilled in me at a young age, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it the first time right now. But I love that. I love the information, the wisdom that these shows have. Like you can learn a lot from it. And it just shows like perception, it does control you, because like you can close yourself off to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm all in now. You know what I mean? Like I want to keep watching Attack on
you
Titan.
do.
I'm interested in all this stuff now. And I like switching it up too. You know what I mean? This is new.
You know how people look at art or they listen to music and you say like, whoa, like a Kanye is like
The greatest of all time.
art. Speaks
Art.
to you.
Straight, yeah.
It has soul in it. It has passion. You feel it
yeah.
going through your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
One Piece, the way it's written, the storyline, the voice acting, the music that they integrate into the show, art. It's art.
Yeah.
Goosebumps watching these things. Goosebumps. And like top two, definitely One Piece and Hunter x Hunter.
I've heard.
Oh my God. I just watched that show recently again and I get goosebumps because it's like, bro, so good. Oh my goodness. And you look at this and you're like, why don't more people know about this art?
What does it make you want to do? Like when you watch this stuff, when you finish an episode and what are the feel like? What?
I feel like I can go do all this shit. You know what I mean? It's like
I could go for a
so
run.
Powerful.
I could go for a run, and I don't.
And you don't run.
Yeah.
Big facts. It lays a perfect example.
I have all this energy in me, and I'm like, what the fuck? This really just happened. Let's go for a run.
I think
It's dope. It's a different type
Yeah.
of expression.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody has their own thing.
Yeah.
It's just cool that people find that in different things.
Yeah.
It's crazy too because I've converted a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I told him before this all happened, and I'm like, Randy is my main goal.
Yeah, he did.
John's already on like episode 50.
Yeah, John's hooked already.
John's hooked. He's like at the end of season 3. John, my brother, done. Other people converted. You, it's a process.
I'm right there. I'm at the beginning.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm at the beginning.
And that was a perfect show too because from the first episode, it's real.
Yeah, I'm sucked in now. I'm all in now because I was like, whoa, because I liked how real it was. Like it wasn't.
At the end of or in the middle of the second episode, when they get on the boat, when they get the civilians on the boat,
Yeah.
one of the characters said they said it's crazy because the only thing humans can do in this situation is cry, scream, or run because they're powerless.
Until they're not.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's what the show shows you. Until they're not. So it's like two different worlds that the same people that live in this one location go through. But the way that they progress in the world is by having some balls and facing their fears and having the resolve and the passion to
Go against the majority.
exactly.
Dude, I love that.
Awesome. Oh my God, I love it. So good.
Wow. We could talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a dope way to just put a bow on it. Guys, I really thank you for joining us today. You know, hopefully we can have like 5-hour episodes one day. I think that's what the people want.
5 hours.
I think
That'd
so.
be insane. I thank you for watching Attack on Titan.
Thank you. No, thank you, bro, for even. I love that, man. I love when people are passionate about something and they're learning from something and it's motivating and they want to share it. I mean, that's anything. This is even with anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's powerful. Anything that's powerful and positive, I'm all for it. So thank you, bro. Thank you for, you know.
Thank you for taking the chance.
Yeah. Well, you got to do it. You got to do it, man. We got to get the video going with these episodes, man.
Right.
Definitely fun, yeah, for sure.
Got to get the video.
Different layer.
The next episode is going to have video. It's going to be the first time we introduce video on the show. So stay tuned for that. If you like this episode, like, share, subscribe, and review if you can. Don't be an asshole, please. If you're going to review, say something nice, goddammit. Gentlemen, anything else you guys want to add?
The only thing I want to say is stay up.
Thank you for having me. First off. Second off, to anybody listening to this, right? If you're curious, give it a try. Give it a try. Doesn't hurt. And have a good day.
Sounding like the Jehovah's Witness of anime.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, guys. See you next time. Peace.